Experience Africa's heartbeat.
The African Pulse.
A weekly broadcast that takes you across Africa.
Different topics.
Culture.
Tech.
Health.
Economy.
And even politics.
The African Pulse.
Only on Ifrikya FM.
Welcome. We're going to explore the roots of the future. So, looking ahead, how are the African leaders positioning the Great Green Wall as a long-term strategy for resilience, development, and climate adaptation?
Well, I think that African leaders see the Great Green Wall as more than an environmental project now. It's a long-term strategy for resilience, climate adaptation and development aligned with AU's Agenda 2063. We see countries like Nigeria, Ethiopia and Senegal use it to restore ecosystems, secure water and protect communities from droughts. The project also drives economic transformations with new investment, prioritizing women and youth. Now, funding cooperatives, green enterprises, solar firms, and climate-smart agriculture to turn restored land into productive economic zones.
Indeed. What you're saying is absolutely true because, you mentioned Ethiopia and Senegal that are taking initiatives to get more endorsed in this project, and especially when it comes to women and youth, because now they are more active when it comes to the economy field, and this wall is strongly related to economy. Yes. Even though many people mistake it as just an environmental initiative, it's not. It's also economic. Do you think the same way, Yasmin? Do you have something to add?
Yes, I join Amira on her idea. Leaders see that the Great Green Wall as a long-term plan to make the Sahel stronger. They wanted to bring more jobs and better farming, more water security, and more protection from climate change.
Especially climate change.
Yes. They also use it to attract money for clean energy and better crops and also greener development. For them, it is a future plan for both people and nature.
Indeed. You mentioned a term that is being now used at the COP30, and that is the greener initiative. Yeah, because now people are not only turning to this project not from the plant sides alone, but also from cleaner energy, and that is something we didn't previously discuss. It's good that you pointed it out, Yasmin, because indeed not just the region that is going through the Great Green Wall project, but entirely Africa is going with this initiative of greener energy and the green energy, and that is to also, it's to lessen the fossil fuel use, and there is also comes with the AU agenda of the 2063, also with the United Nations agenda for
2030.
2030, exactly. And with that, do you have anything to add?
Yes, I think the African leaders perceive this initiative as a strategic one aimed at elevating the region's economy while preserving the environment and combat desertification, as we previously mentioned. And climate change is causing major damage in Africa.
It is. We can see that the climate change has caused drought in several African nations. We're talking about not yet to desertification. It didn't get that level yet, but it is going to that direction if they don't take action right now and stop it before it does. For example, in Kenya is facing major drought, and the region, the East African region, is facing big drought issues because of the climate change, whereas some other nations are facing floods, especially this upcoming winter. It's going to be dangerous for many nations, and all of
like
this,
Sudan and
exactly, and all of that is causing damage to the crops and the agriculture, which in turn would ruin the food source for people. And this is what is causing hunger, and it's causing the situation and the food situation crisis to get worse and worse. Yeah. And I guess that's one of the reasons why they are taking this initiative.
Yes, and Iman, what makes us proud now is seeing that the diplomatic message is shifting. African leaders are asserting the continent as a hub of solutions, not a passive recipient of aid.
Yes, and that is something, it's good to point it out. Thank you for mentioning that, Amira. Because yes, Africa used to be a passive when it comes to this, or at least this is how the West used to promote Africa. But we have never been passive, just that we didn't have enough voice on the international platform, and now we do. And since we do, we are speaking for ourselves, and we are trying to show the world that we are taking action, we are taking our destiny in our hands. And this is, I do believe that the previous president of Nigeria, Obasanjo, already said this. We need to take our future in our hands. And
we need to write our own story.
And we write
especially
our own
that
story.
Africa is the most affected by climate change.
Even though we do not contribute much to the reasons that are causing the climate change to begin with, Africa is only contributing to as a cause by just 4%, yet we pay the highest price. So I do believe that our leaders already did mention on a previous COP30 sessions that
this is what COP30 this year is
was about.
COP29 too.
Yes, they did mention that in the previous COP. Actually, yes, they do. But this year, they also stressed, the African leaders stressed on the fact that the polluters pay. And this is what the African leaders were stressing during this COP. So I
hope it comes true.
Hopefully, because our continent is suffering indeed from climate change more than any other region, more than any other continent. Africa is paying the highest price.
And this initiative, the Great Green Wall, aiming to fight that because plants provide balance when it comes to environment and to climate. So if we talk about how people perceive it, we can say some perceive it as merely a line of plants.
Some.
Whereas others do know and understand its true value. It is a group of restoration projects, reforestation, as I said before, and sustainable agriculture, as well as water resources enhancement.
Yeah, now we're going to discuss this one last point that I wanted to talk about, and then we're going to come up with a conclusion as a whole. But on the ground, among farmers, among youth groups and women's cooperatives, what does meaningful participation look like in ensuring the Great Green Wall thrives for decades to come?
When you look across the Sahel today, you see incredible examples of farmers, youth and women's cooperatives leading the work, building the Great Green Wall. We have seen farmers restore soil and boost food security. Youth plant trees and use technology. Youth, that's what makes them special. Technology.
Yeah, they're always creative, and they always have innovation at hand.
They use technology to track progress, and women lead nurseries, solar farms, and land initiatives, with 60% of funding now supporting women-led projects. So I think by giving community the tools, the skills and power to make decisions, the Great Green Wall can become more than a project. It will be a living legacy that can last for generations.
to come. Indeed. Widad, what's your perception on this?
Yeah, I think this initiative that we're talking about today is a resilience weapon. I think it protects communities from droughts, land loss, and parasites, especially people who live close to forests and far from the city and the crowd of the city. And it's also an economic win that promotes green values and encourage investors to sponsor environmental initiatives like this one. So here comes the role of farmers and local communities. So we can emphasize that this wall is not just a short-term project investment. It's a vision to next generations. It's a lasting heritage.
And a good one at that.
Yeah.
Yasmin, how's your perception on this?
Do you know, Iman, real participation means local people help, decide and plan and land the work. Farmers choose the best methods for their land, and youth groups help with seeds, mapping and new tools. And about women, also women's cooperatives run nurseries and grow plants and also sell local products.
It is great to see this awareness, environment awareness, growing.
Yes.
Indeed. Indeed. Especially among the youth. It gives hope that our future is between safe hands, you know. Like
it's better than now.
At least, because when you see young people that are high schoolers, middle schoolers already participating in this kind of projects, it just gives a hope of the future. They're already thinking this way and they are this young. So imagine when they grow older and they have more tools at hand, more facilitations at hand, you know, they would manage to grab investments, they would manage to know what to do exactly if they are already into the field by this age.
It's an evidence that people are awake now.
When people are involved like this, they feel ownership, and the Great Green Wall becomes strong and local and lasting.
You mentioned a very strong word there, and you said ownership. And that is indeed a strong word. Why? Because when they participate and they feel like they own this wall, they will contribute more to it and they will work to preserve it and they will keep that idea alive. So yes, that's a good idea that you mentioned. And before we conclude, any last word that you'd like to say?
Yes, of course.
I'll start with you with that.
I think we should all be proud of this very, very major initiative. And we should all contribute in helping those who are responsible for developing it and putting all the investments into it. So I think it will be a very proud moment for Africa.
Indeed.
I think for the next generations, they will look back and thank those communities for raising this initiative.
It will keep their future safe, I assume, as they wouldn't be facing what the previous generation faced.
Exactly.
With the hunger and the poverty and all. Amira, any last word?
For me, the message is clear. Without faster financing, stronger African leadership and solutions rooted in the realities of our communities, the Great Green Wall risks remaining an unfinished dream rather than a continent-wide legacy.
Because they have to take the initiative with serious consideration for the future and not just like the previous COPs. You mentioned that they did talk about it in the COP29. They are mentioning it again now when they're putting it in surface in COP30. They shouldn't be just conversations in halls and trying to raise voice on the international stage without actual action to see on field. And this is what we're aiming. We're aiming to see action on field. And as the conversations at the African Pavilion reminded the world that the Great Green Wall is more than an environmental project. It is a continental movement, after all, a movement about healing land, restoring dignity and strengthening communities across one of the most climate vulnerable regions on Earth. And if the energy at COP30 is any indication, the wall is not just growing, it's evolving, carried forward by people who call the Sahel home. So hopefully the policymakers would actually take action this time to go fast forward with this project to see real result very soon, working with the AU and to put the agenda note about the Great Green Wall of the 2063 a reality before we actually reach 2063, because that's so far away from us youth. And thank you for joining us on the African Pulse. Thank you, dear listeners. And thank you, Amira, with the end Yasmin. Yasmin, you would like to say any last word before we conclude?
I'm happy for being a member of this meeting. And thank you all, Iman, Amira, and Widad, for this amazing and important topic. You are amazing girlies.
Thank you.
I hope we meet again for another great discussion. It's a pleasure for me.
And we will have you again soon in our next episode. That will be very interesting, actually. And, well, Yasmin, thank you for sharing your insights. And thank you, girls, for sharing your insights and reflections from the COP30's Africa's Pavilion. I'm Iman Nouad. Stay tuned, stay curious, and as always, keep listening to your favorite radio, Ifrikya FM, where voices are shaping Africa's tomorrow.
When I've reached my limit, gonna get on up. Time to get it, no straight forward. It's a great leap forward to the zone.